We are about to step into a new year, and every year, without fail, people carry the same question with them. What do I want from the future? More money, more recognition, more freedom, more success, more comfort. We list outcomes as if the calendar itself is responsible for delivering them. But the truth is this: the future does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you become. The most dangerous mindset you can carry into 2026 is the belief that success is something you chase. That if you just run fast enough, push hard enough, or want badly enough, the results will finally arrive. Because when your focus is only on outcomes, you turn life into a transaction. You give effort only when you believe the reward is guaranteed. And the moment the reward is delayed, uncertain, or invisible, you begin to question the journey. But fulfillment was never meant to be transactional. It was always meant to be purposeful. We don't wake up inspired by numbers. We are inspired by meaning. We are not moved by targets on a screen. We are moved by a reason in our heart. When the what is all you see, your motivation becomes fragile. But when you are anchored in why, your resilience becomes unshakable. So many people say, this year I want to make more money. But they never ask, who must I become to deserve it? They say, this year I want more freedom. But they never ask, what responsibility am I willing to carry to earn it? Because wanting is easy. Becoming is hard. And we avoid becoming because it demands something uncomfortable. Commitment without immediate reward. Purpose is not loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or instant validation. Purpose often shows up quietly, disguised as responsibility. It asks you to act with integrity when no one is watching. It asks you to choose the long road when the shortcut is tempting. It asks you to build character before you build results. When you enter a year obsessed with outcomes, you become impatient. You start measuring your worth by external signals, likes, money, applause, comparisons. And the moment progress slows, doubt creeps in. You begin to ask, is this worth it? Why isn't this working yet? Maybe this isn't for me. But when you enter a year anchored in purpose, the questions change. Am I acting in alignment with who I want to become? Am I living by standards I can be proud of? Am I building something that will still matter when the excitement fades? Purpose doesn't make the work easier. It makes the work meaningful. And meaning is what allows people to endure what others abandon. Think about anything in your life that truly matters. Relationships, mastery, character, contribution. None of it was built quickly. None of it came from chasing an outcome. It came from choosing a direction and staying loyal to it long after the novelty disappeared. Yet every year people promise themselves results without committing to identity. They say, I want confidence, but they don't practice courage. They say, I want discipline, but they avoid discomfort. They say, I want respect, but they compromise their values the moment it becomes inconvenient. Outcomes are not something you demand from life. They are something you attract by who you become. And the shift from chasing outcomes to committing to purpose changes everything. When your purpose is clear, you don't need constant motivation. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't negotiate with your excuses. You act because acting is who you are now. Your behavior is no longer driven by mood. It is guided by meaning. This is why some people keep moving forward even when nobody believes in them. Not because they are fearless, but because they are anchored. They know what they stand for. They know why they started. And that why becomes stronger than doubt, stronger than fatigue, stronger than the need for approval. If you enter 2026 still asking only, what can I get? You will always be dependent on circumstances. You will work when conditions are perfect. You will quit when they are not. Your commitment will be temporary because it is built on outcomes that you cannot fully control. But if you enter 2026 asking, who am I becoming? Your power shifts back into your hands. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control other people. You cannot control timing, but you can control your standards. You can control your habits. You can control the values you refuse to compromise. Purpose gives you something outcomes never can, direction when clarity is missing. There will be moments in 2026 when results are slow, when the effort feels invisible, when the world seems uninterested in your growth. If outcomes are your only fuel, those moments will break you. But if purpose is your foundation, Those moments will shape you. Because when you are committed to becoming, progress is never wasted, even when it is unseen. You may not see the results in a week. You may not see them in a month. You may not even see them in a year, but you will feel the difference in how you show up, in how you speak to yourself, in what you tolerate, in what you refuse to compromise. Purpose changes your identity before it changes your circumstances. And identity is everything. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If your identity is someone who tries, you will stop when it gets hard. If your identity is someone who becomes, you will adapt, learn, and persist. So do not enter 2026 chasing applause. Applause is temporary. Do not enter 2026 chasing validation. Validation is addictive. Do not enter 2026 chasing results alone. Results are unpredictable. Enter 2026 committed to becoming a person of discipline, clarity, and purpose. A person who does the right thing even when no one is watching. A person who measures success not only by what is achieved, but by who is being built in the process. A person who understands that the journey is not a delay, it is the transformation. Because in the end, the most important question is not, what did I get this year? It is, who did I become while pursuing it? And if you can answer that with pride, if you can say you became stronger, more honest, more disciplined, more aligned with your values, then no matter what the numbers say, you did not waste the year. So as you stand at the doorway of 2026, leave behind the mindset of chasing outcomes. Walk forward with purpose, not asking, what can I take from this year, but declaring, this is the year I become someone worthy of the future I want. Most people do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they choose comfort over responsibility. And comfort is seductive. It whispers, you've worked hard, you deserve a break. It says, you can start tomorrow. It convinces you that avoiding pain is the same as protecting yourself. But comfort does not protect your future. It only preserves your present. And if your present is built on habits that avoid growth, then what you are really preserving is limitation. The most dangerous mindset you can carry into 2026 is the belief that life is supposed to be comfortable before it can be meaningful. That you should feel ready before you take responsibility. That you should be confident before you act. That you should be certain before you commit. But responsibility always comes first. Growth always comes after. Every meaningful transformation in your life began the same way, not with comfort, but with a choice to step into something heavier than what you were used to carrying, something uncertain, something that required effort without guarantee. We admire leaders, builders, creators, disciplined people, not because their lives are easy, but because they chose responsibility when it would have been easier to choose relief. Comfort asks, how do I feel right now? Responsibility asks, who am I becoming? Comfort says, avoid the hard conversation. Responsibility says, have it with honesty. Comfort says, scroll, distract, escape. Responsibility says, sit with the discomfort and do the work. Comfort is about now. Responsibility is about next. And the future always belongs to those who are willing to carry what others avoid. If you enter 2026 seeking a smooth path, you will abandon it the moment it becomes steep. But if you enter 2026 accepting that the path will be difficult and choosing it anyway, you build something far more powerful than success. You build character. Character is what allows you to keep going when motivation fades. Character is what keeps you aligned when temptation appears. Character is what sustains you when nobody is watching. We often talk about discipline as if it is a personality trait, as if some people were born with it and others were not. But discipline is not something you have. It is something you practice. And you only practice discipline when you choose responsibility over comfort. Responsibility is not punishment. It is not burden. It is not suffering for the sake of suffering. Responsibility is the price of meaning. When you carry responsibility, your life gains weight. Your decisions matter. Your actions shape outcomes. Your choices create direction. You stop drifting and start building. And yet, so many people enter a new year asking for ease. I just want less stress. I just want things to feel lighter. I just want a break. But a life without responsibility does not become peaceful. It becomes empty. Because peace is not the absence of pressure. Peace is knowing that the pressure you carry has purpose. Look at any area of your life that truly matters to you, your family, your craft, your integrity, your growth. None of it was built through comfort. It was built through commitment, through showing up when it was inconvenient, through choosing what was necessary over what was easy. And that is why it lasts. If you want 2026 to be different, you must stop asking how to make life easier and start asking what you are willing to be responsible for. Are you willing to be responsible for your time? Not blaming distraction, but choosing focus. Are you willing to be responsible for? Are your habits? Not hoping for change, but practicing it daily. Are you willing to be responsible for your standards? Not lowering them to fit in, but raising them to grow. Because the moment you stop outsourcing responsibility to circumstances, to people, to timing, you take back control of your future. We often say we want freedom, but freedom is not the absence of responsibility. Freedom is the ability to choose what you will carry. The disciplined person is not trapped. They are liberated. The committed person is not restricted. They are directed. When you commit to responsibility, you stop reacting to life and start shaping it. And yes, responsibility is heavy. It will test you. It will demand consistency. It will force you to confront your weaknesses. It will expose your excuses. But what comfort never tells you is this: the weight you carry today becomes the strength you stand on tomorrow. Every time you choose the harder path, you build capacity. Every time you delay gratification, you build trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to your future instead of pleasing your present, you reinforce your identity. You stop being someone who hopes. You become someone who acts, and that identity changes everything, because the world does not reward intention. It responds to consistency. The world does not follow words. It follows behavior. If you want 2026 to bring more respect, more opportunity, more growth, then you must first bring more responsibility. Not responsibility forced on you, responsibility chosen by you. Chosen in the moments when nobody is watching, chosen when the result is uncertain, chosen when comfort is tempting. This is the difference between people who look busy and people who become effective, between people who dream and people who build, between people who talk about potential and people who live it. And here is the truth that few are willing to accept. Your future is not delayed because of lack of opportunity. It is delayed because of tolerance for comfort. Every time you choose the easier option, you make the harder future more likely. Every time you avoid what is uncomfortable now, you guarantee that discomfort will return later. Heavier, more urgent, more costly. Responsibility is difficult today. Regret is heavier tomorrow. So do not enter 2026 asking for less weight. Enter 2026 asking for stronger shoulders. Not how can I avoid what's hard, but what is worth carrying. Because the moment you choose responsibility, something remarkable happens. Your life stops being about what you feel and starts being about what you stand for. You become anchored. You become intentional. You become dependable to yourself. And that is where real confidence is born, not from comfort, not from praise, but from knowing that you can be trusted with your own future. So as you move forward, remember this: comfort will offer you relief. Responsibility will offer you respect. Comfort will give you sense of ease. Responsibility will give you a life of meaning. Do not enter 2026 asking the year to be kind to you. Enter 2026 prepared to be strong, prepared to choose what is necessary over what is easy, prepared to carry what matters, prepared to build a future that does not depend on luck, but on the standards you live by. Because in the end, the weight you choose today determines the life you stand on tomorrow. As we approach 2026, there is a silent danger that lurks in the way most people think about life, work, and growth. It is subtle, easy to overlook, and deceptively comfortable. It is the mindset of waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for clarity, waiting for motivation, waiting for conditions to align perfectly before taking action. And if you carry this mindset into the new year, you will repeat the same patterns, the same regrets, and the same disappointments that have defined your past. We tell ourselves, I'll start tomorrow, as if tomorrow is a magical day that guarantees readiness. We wait for the perfect moment, for circumstances to be easier, for fear to disappear. We wait for a signal from the world that it's finally our turn. But here's the truth. Waiting is a trap. Waiting is the reason potential is wasted. Waiting is the reason dreams dissolve into distant memories. Because clarity never comes first. Confidence never comes first. Motivation never comes first. They are not prerequisites. They are byproducts of action. Action comes before certainty. Doing comes before confidence. Courage comes before readiness. And yet so many people enter a new year thinking the opposite. They believe that if they just prepare enough, if they just plan carefully, if they just wait for the right conditions, success will eventually arrive. But life doesn't reward those who wait. Life rewards those who act. And action, even imperfect action, is the engine that produces clarity, skill, and confidence. Think about the moments in your life when you truly grew. When did you feel more capable, more resilient, more alive? It wasn't when everything felt easy or when the path was clear. It was when you stepped forward into discomfort, when you risked failure, embarrassment, or rejection. When you did not wait for readiness, you created it through engagement. Every skill you've mastered, every relationship you've deepened, every challenge you've overcome was built by leaning into the unknown, not by standing on the sidelines waiting for certainty. Waiting is seductive because it feels safe. It feels rational. It allows us to postpone responsibility and avoid the discomfort of growth. But safety is an illusion. Every day you wait, your life does not stay still. It slips by. The days add up. The opportunities that once existed vanish, and the person you could have become remains unrealized. Waiting does not protect you from failure. It guarantees irrelevance. If you enter 2026 with a waiting mindset, you will spend the year reacting to circumstances rather than shaping them. You will measure your worth by outcomes you cannot fully control. You will blame timing, luck, or other people for what does not happen. You will leave the responsibility for your life in the hands of chance, and chance rarely keeps promises. Instead, enter 2026 with a mindset of action, of commitment, of ownership. Do not wait for permission to begin. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. Do not wait for clarity to arrive on its own. Start. Start imperfectly. Start in discomfort. Start even when you are unsure. Because movement creates clarity. Doing creates confidence. Courage creates readiness. This is the distinction between those who achieve and those who dream. The world is full of people with ideas, ambitions, and intentions. But the people who succeed are not those who wait. They are those who act despite fear, despite doubt, despite the unknown. They understand that action is the signal, not the reward. They know that clarity emerges from doing, not from waiting. And yet, waiting is not just about hesitation. It is also about comparison. We wait because we measure ourselves against others. We look at peers who are ahead, at people who appear more prepared, more talented, more successful, and we tell ourselves, not yet, I'm not ready. But readiness is a myth. There's no perfect time to begin, no flawless path to success. Every person you admire, every person who seems ahead of you, started in imperfection, made mistakes, aced obstacles, and learned by doing. They didn't wait, they acted. Every day you hesitate, the world moves forward without you. Every day you postpone, someone else steps into the opportunities you thought were meant for you. Waiting creates regret. Waiting diminishes confidence. Waiting erodes identity. Because the identity of someone who waits is fragile, dependent on external circumstances, and vulnerable to comparison. And here's the profound truth. The person you become in 2026 will be defined not by what you hoped for, not by what you planned, but by what you did. By the risks you took, the moments you leaned in, when it was easier to step back, the decisions you made, even when the outcome was uncertain. Action is the bridge between aspiration and achievement. Waiting is the gap that keeps you stuck. You cannot control the timing of life, but you can control the steps you take. You cannot ensure every moment is perfect, but you can ensure you show up consistently. You cannot dictate the results, but you can dictate your standards, your effort, and your identity. And those things, effort, consistency, identity, create the outcomes that waiting can never deliver. So do not enter 2026 waiting for clarity. Do not enter 2026 waiting for permission. Do not enter 2026 waiting for conditions that may never exist. Instead, enter 2026 ready to act, ready to make decisions even when incomplete, ready to practice courage even when uncertain, ready to build, to fail, to learn, to adjust, to repeat, Because action is not a single moment, it is a habit, it is a rhythm, it is the daily choice to engage, to persist, to show up even when the result is invisible. Motivation is fleeting, inspiration is temporary, but action compounds. Action builds momentum. Action teaches lessons, reveals opportunities, and shapes identity. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not more talented or luckier. They are more willing to act, to start before they feel ready, to risk before it feels safe, to endure before the reward is visible, and every step they take strengthens their ability to take the next one. Confidence is born from competence, and competence is born from consistent action. If you want 2026 to be transformative, you must shed the mindset of waiting. You must replace it with the mindset of ownership. Ownership over your choices, your time, your energy, and your growth. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop delaying. Stop hoping the world will hand you clarity. Start creating it yourself. The people who thrive in life are not those who avoid discomfort. They are those who embrace it as a teacher. They understand that the moments of uncertainty, fear, and risk are the moments that define character, skill, and purpose. They understand that waiting is easy, but meaningless. Acting is difficult, but transformative. And here is the final point. Waiting is not neutral. Every day you delay, you make a choice to stay smaller than your potential. Every day you hesitate, you let your future self down. Every day you postpone, you strengthen the habits, fears, and limitations that will hold you back. But every day you act, you rewrite the story of who you are becoming. You claim ownership over your life. You strengthen your capacity. You create the momentum that will carry you forward when circumstances are uncertain. Do not enter 2026 with hesitation in your heart. Do not enter with fear in your mind. Do not enter thinking that waiting is a strategy. Waiting is a trap. Waiting is loss. Waiting is regret. Waiting to happen. Enter 2026 with action, with courage, with purpose, with a relentless commitment to start now, to do what is necessary, and to build the person who is capable of achieving the life you want. Because the future will not wait for you. Opportunity will not pause for you. Time will not slow down for you, but the person who acts will always move forward. The person who acts will always grow. The person who acts will always create a life that matters. Start now. Step forward. Do not wait. As we stand on the threshold of 2026, there is a question that often goes unspoken. What are you willing to endure to become the person you aspire to be? Most people enter a new year hoping for breakthroughs without understanding that breakthroughs are not gifts. They are earned. They are earned through the deliberate choice to do the hard work day after day, even when no one is watching, even when the results are invisible, and motivation fades. Too often, people measure progress by speed rather than consistency. They think that success should arrive quickly, that change should be instantaneous, that results should be immediate, and when it isn't, they become discouraged. They compare themselves to others. They look at the milestones of those who have gone before and feel behind, and in that comparison, the seeds of doubt take root. They begin to question themselves, their timing, their ability. They forget that life is not a sprint. It is a process, a relentless, sometimes boring, often invisible process of becoming. The problem is not that people are impatient. The problem is that they do not understand the value of the work that goes unseen. They do not understand that the small choices repeated daily, the effort nobody notices, the discipline nobody praises, the consistency nobody applauds, are the foundation for lasting impact. It is easy to be inspired by stories of overnight success, but overnight success is always the result of years of unseen, uncelebrated effort. It is not luck. It is not talent alone. It is the product of commitment. If you enter 2026 chasing instant results, you will be setting yourself up for disappointment. You will focus on external validation instead of internal growth. You will allow setbacks to define your self-worth, rather than using them to refine your resilience. But if you enter 2026 with the understanding that transformation takes time, that mastery is built through repetition, that progress compounds slowly, you will move through the year differently. You will approach obstacles as teachers, delays as lessons, and failure as feedback. Consistency is not glamorous. It is often monotonous. It asks for persistence when inspiration has vanished. It demands discipline when motivation is fleeting. It requires showing up when the world seems indifferent. And yet, consistency is the single greatest predictor of success. Because results may fluctuate, but habits endure. Character is built through routine. Identity is reinforced through repetition. And when your identity is aligned with your goals, your actions become inevitable. Too many people enter a new year focused on proving themselves. They want to demonstrate their worth, to be recognized, to measure up. But proving is external. It depends on someone else's judgment. It is fragile. Improvement, on the other hand, is internal. It is under your control. It is sustainable. It is liberating. And the person who focuses on improvement rather than proving builds a life that is resilient to judgment, setbacks, and comparison. Improvement asks a different question than proving. Proving asks, how do I look? Improvement asks, who am I becoming? Proving demands validation. Improvement demands patience. Proving is temporary. Improvement lasts. The person who commits to improvement understands that identity precedes achievement. They know that to achieve the life they want, they must first become the person capable of sustaining it. And here is the subtle but profound truth. The work you do now, small, consistent, patient work, creates the conditions for extraordinary results in the future. No grand gesture, no single moment of brilliance, no sudden breakthrough replaces the power of steady, intentional effort. The compound effect of small actions, repeated daily, builds momentum, capability, and confidence. And by the time others notice, you have already become someone they could not have imagined. Patience is not passive. It is not waiting for things to happen. Patience is active. It is the quiet strength to continue, to persist, to maintain standards, to refine skills, to show up even when the excitement is gone. It is the courage to embrace the long road, the understanding that meaningful growth cannot be rushed, and the discipline to stay committed when the path feels invisible. So, entering 2026, you must examine the mindset that you bring. If you bring a mindset that seeks immediate gratification, that measures success by speed, that depends on recognition, you will find yourself frustrated, disillusioned, and tempted to quit. If you bring a mindset that values consistency, improvement, patience, and identity, you will approach each challenge as an opportunity to grow. You will understand that the work itself is the point, and the results are a natural byproduct. The people who achieve remarkable things are rarely the ones who are the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who understand that success is earned through persistence, that greatness is cultivated through patient, deliberate action. They are the ones who embrace the unseen work, who continue when it is inconvenient, who invest in themselves when nobody is watching. And the most powerful thing about this approach is that it creates freedom. Freedom from comparison, freedom from external validation, freedom from the anxiety of, am I enough? Because when your identity is built on consistent action, your self-worth is anchored internally, not externally. And yet, even with this understanding, many people resist. They resist because patience feels slow. They resist because improvement feels invisible. They resist because the world around them celebrates speed, instant results, and overnight success. But the person who resists the world's impatience, who commits to long-term growth, who prioritizes identity over recognition, becomes unstoppable. They are unshakable, not because life is easy, but because they have built strength through the challenges, consistency through the mundane, and resilience through the delays. Do not enter 2026 expecting life to reward you immediately. Do not enter expecting the world to notice your effort before you are ready. Do not enter expecting shortcuts. The only shortcuts that exist are in stories, not in reality. Real progress requires real time. Real mastery requires real repetition. Real character requires real patience. And the person who understands this and acts on it experiences not only results, but fulfillment, purpose, and lasting impact. So ask yourself, how will you measure success in 2026? By what people see or by who you become? By fleeting recognition or by consistent, deliberate improvement? By rapid, superficial wins or by the long, patient cultivation of identity and capability? Because the person you become this year determines not only the results you achieve, but the life you will be capable of sustaining in the future. Entering a year with the mindset that progress is instantaneous is a trap. Entering a year with the mindset that improvement is patient is freedom. One anchors you to frustration, the other anchors you to growth. One demands applause, the other builds competence. One depends on luck, the other depends on you. Consistency, patience, and self-improvement are not glamorous. They are often invisible. They are often unnoticed. But they are what separate people who dream from people who build. They are what separate potential from results, and they are the mindset you must carry into 2026. The year ahead will test you. It will challenge you. It will demand more than you believe you have. But if your foundation is built on the unseen work, the patient improvement, the consistent commitment to becoming better, you will navigate the challenges with clarity, confidence, and resilience. You will not only survive the year, you will grow through it. You will create the momentum, capability, and identity that the next years will reward exponentially. Do not enter 2026 seeking validation. Do not enter seeking shortcuts. Do not enter chasing immediate results. Enter prepared to show up every day, to invest in yourself, to embrace the slow, consistent, and often invisible work that builds greatness. Enter ready to become someone worthy of the life you desire, and understand that by committing to growth, patience, and identity first, the results will inevitably follow. Because the person who focuses on improvement, who values patience, and who embraces consistency always wins in the long run. And the long run is where life's greatest opportunities reside. 2026 is coming, and with it comes a simple but profound question. Are you ready to prove them wrong, or will you prove yourself right in staying the same? Too many people approach a new year with the hope that things will magically shift, that the world will finally give them recognition, opportunities, or success. But the world is not waiting to validate you. The world responds to what you build, who you become, and how relentlessly you commit to growth. Success does not happen overnight. It does not bend to wishful thinking. It does not respond to excuses. Success is patient, and so must you be. We live in a culture obsessed with speed, instant gratification, and shortcuts. Social media tells us that life should be immediate, that achievement should be visible, and that failure is shameful. And if you believe that narrative, you enter 2026 expecting to rise faster than reality allows. You set timelines that are unrealistic, measure yourself against others who are ahead, and become frustrated when the progress you want does not appear. But the truth is this: meaningful success cannot be rushed. True achievement takes time, effort, and persistence. It demands patience, resilience, and the courage to continue when nobody is watching. Too often, people measure progress by results alone. They ask, how much did I earn? How many people noticed? How quickly did it happen? And when the results are not immediate, they doubt themselves. They quit too soon. They convince themselves that the opportunity was never theirs. But progress is not linear. The journey to success is filled with invisible work, delayed rewards, and repeated effort that feels repetitive, monotonous, or unrewarded. What separates those who succeed from those who fail is the willingness to persist through the delay. The mindset that will fail you in 2026 is the belief that results define your worth. It is the obsession with proving yourself to others instead of proving yourself to yourself. It is waiting for external validation instead of cultivating internal standards. And it is this mindset that makes people quit just before breakthroughs appear, just before the work compounds, just before momentum builds. Instead, enter 2026 with the understanding that your responsibility is not to impress others, it is to improve yourself. Do not chase validation, chase progress. Do not chase applause, chase discipline. Do not chase recognition, chase consistency, because it is in the repeated, deliberate actions that greatness is forged. It is in the unseen work, the quiet effort, and the relentless commitment to your standards that the person capable of extraordinary success is built. Many people believe they need to feel motivated to act. They believe that inspiration must strike before they put in the work. But motivation is temporary. It rises, it falls, and it disappears when life becomes inconvenient. What creates real results is discipline. The ability to take action day after day, even when you do not feel like it. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not celebrated. but it is the foundation on which the life you want is built. Without discipline, talent is wasted. Opportunity is lost. Dreams fade into regrets. To prove them wrong, you must understand that progress is incremental. It is built through repetition, patience, and persistence. One small step done consistently compounds into momentum. One repeated choice shapes identity. One decision to continue despite doubt strengthens resilience. The world does not reward those who start fast and quit quickly. The world rewards those who endure, those who understand that success is a marathon, not a sprint. Those who accept that the time it takes to build something meaningful is an investment in their own capacity. We live in a culture that glorifies instant results, but history teaches us a different lesson. Every significant achievement, every breakthrough, every enduring success was preceded by countless hours of unseen effort. The inventor who changed the world did not succeed in a week. The entrepreneur who built an empire did not rise in a month. The athlete who broke records did not do it overnight. They all endured, they all persisted, they all practiced patience when the world demanded immediate results. Patience, however, is not passive. It does not mean waiting idly. It means showing up day, doing the work, making decisions that compound over time, and trusting that effort, though invisible now, will yield results in the future. Patience is active, it is deliberate, it is strategic. And when you practice it consistently, you gain an advantage over the person who quits, the person who complains, the person who is distracted by instant gratification. Another dangerous mindset to leave behind in 2026 is the fear of failure. So many people avoid taking risks because they are afraid of looking foolish, of making mistakes, or of being judged. But failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a signal. It is feedback. It is the universe telling you that you are learning, adapting, and growing. The person who fears failure rarely achieves greatness. The person who embraces failure, who learns from it, and who uses it to refine their approach becomes unstoppable. To prove them wrong, you must also understand that consistency beats brilliance. Brilliance is fleeting. Consistency is enduring. One moment of inspiration is not enough to create lasting impact, but repeated, deliberate effort, even in small doses, compounds into results that are undeniable. If you want to be extraordinary in 2026, do not wait for brilliance. Show up consistently. Apply yourself, refine your craft, repeat, iterate, and trust that the accumulation of effort will eventually surpass talent that is inconsistent. Your mindset determines how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and delays. If your mindset is fragile, you will crumble when life tests you. If your mindset is resilient, you will adapt, learn, and continue. And the resilience you develop through deliberate effort is what enables you to prove not only others wrong, but yourself right, not by avoiding obstacles, but by confronting them, enduring them, and mastering them. Do not enter 2026 expecting shortcuts, easy wins, or immediate validation. The life you want is not handed to you, it is earned. It is earned through patience, discipline, persistence, and the courage to continue when the reward is not visible. It is earned through the small, daily choices that define character, competence, and identity. And when you commit to this process, the results will follow, often beyond what you can imagine. To prove them wrong is not about proving your worth to the world. It is about proving your worth to yourself. It is about showing up consistently, maintaining standards, persevering in the face of doubt, and embracing the long game. It is about building habits, developing skills, and cultivating character long before recognition arrives. It is about becoming someone who can sustain success when it finally comes, because you have already built the foundation in silence. So as you step into 2026, understand this: success takes time, but it is never wasted. The effort you put in today, no matter how small or unseen, compounds over the weeks, months, and years to follow. There is no substitute for persistence. There is no shortcut to mastery. There is no replacement for showing up, doing the work, and committing to becoming the person who can achieve the life you want. Do not enter 2026 wishing for instant results. Enter with patience. Enter with discipline. Enter with the understanding that you are in the process of becoming. Enter with the courage to endure, the focus to persist, and the identity of someone who never gives up. Because the people who prove others wrong are not the ones who start fast, they are the ones who finish strong. They are the ones who endure when it is hard. They are the ones who build the foundations quietly, patiently, relentlessly, and when the results finally arrive, they are not surprised. They are ready, because everything they built, everything they endured, and everything they practiced prepared them for the life they were meant to create. Prove them wrong not with speed. Prove them wrong with endurance, not with shortcuts. Prove them wrong with patience, not with luck. Prove them wrong with discipline. And in doing so, you will not only succeed, you will become someone capable of sustaining extraordinary results, not just in 2026, but for years to come. As we stand at the threshold of 2026, it is not the year itself that will determine your future. It is the mindset you choose to carry into it. You can step forward carrying the same thoughts, excuses, and limitations that defined your past, or you can choose something different. You can choose to prove yourself right by remaining stagnant, or you can choose to prove them wrong by committing to growth, discipline, and purpose. The choice is yours, and it will shape every moment that follows. The most dangerous mindset is the one that waits, waiting for the perfect time, the perfect feeling, the perfect conditions, waiting for clarity or motivation to arrive before you act. Waiting is comfortable, but it is also the enemy of progress. Life does not reward hesitation, it rewards action. And action, even when imperfect, builds clarity, confidence, and courage. Every moment spent waiting is a moment of your life slipping away. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent. It is the willingness to start before they feel ready. Discipline outweighs motivation. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Consistency, not brilliance, builds identity. The small, repeated choices you make each day, the unseen effort, the quiet commitments, the patient investment in yourself, compound over time into results that are undeniable. Motivation may come and go, but identity, standards, and character are forged through persistence, and they last far longer than any fleeting ion. The future belongs to the person who shows up, who acts, and who endures when it is inconvenient. Do not enter 2026 chasing outcomes. Chasing applause, validation, or recognition will leave you vulnerable to comparison and disappointment. Instead, chase improvement. Focus on the person you are becoming, not the results you wish to achieve. Identity precedes achievement. Who you become determines what you can sustain. The person who acts with purpose, who embraces responsibility, who practices patience, and who endures discomfort is unstoppable. They do not depend on circumstances, they create them. And understand this, success takes time. Breakthroughs do not appear overnight. Mastery is built through repetition. Momentum is created through consistency. The life you desire is not handed to you. It is earned through deliberate effort day after day in ways that often go unnoticed. Those who prove others wrong are not the ones who start fast. They are the ones who finish strong. They are the ones who persist when motivation fades, who endure when results are invisible, and who build themselves quietly, patiently, and relentlessly. So step into 2026 not hoping for a better year, not waiting for opportunity, not chasing shortcuts. Step in with purpose, with discipline, with patience, and with the courage to act, even when it is uncomfortable. Choose responsibility over comfort. Choose consistency over instant gratification. Choose identity over approval. And in doing so, you will not only change the trajectory of your year, you will transform the trajectory of your life. The future will not wait for you, but the person who shows up, commits, and endures will always move forward. 2026 is not a chance. It is a choice. Make it count. Make it yours. Become someone worthy of the life you want, and the world will have no choice but to follow your example.